What is up, everybody, and welcome back to another episode of the Sesh Program. In this very special episode, we hang out with Chandler Fleming of Flamingo Music and myself, Skip Marazzi, your host and friend. And we sesh different kinds of sessions. We hang out and write, or we hang out and make music, or chat with friends while we game. Kind of basically any of the things that a sesh would be. Um, in this episode, however, I'm very excited. This is a Cox and Space behind the scenes podcast, by the way. But in this episode, we're going to be doing something that you don't generally get to see, because we generally do it behind the scenes, like very behind the scenes. Aaron and I are working on scripts. And so we write using a story calculator, and tonight we're using it to work on a story calculator about rubber ducks. Um, and this one for me has been it's so funny how it came about. Um, Chandler, you remember, I think you started just telling me about it. Like we were in an after hours sesh. It was real late, if I remember correctly. And then you started sharing this idea about how these ducks, they like seem to need to exist. And that was an interesting idea, and we started playing with it more. And then as we got into it in the previous episode, we actually started writing out the actions of the person who's being involved with this duck and developing the character, the story calculator. And I think that we're fairly surprised and interested in the continuing story of this man and his plight. You may not be able to speak quite yet, and that's okay if you can. Uh, All right. What I'm going to do to give us kind of like an intro, while you're probably switching over to your computer, is begin to read the story to kind of set up. What's up, buddy? Welcome back.
Like,
Um,
can you hear me?
yeah.
Cool.
Did you have any commentary on the Ducks um, before I enter the story?
Yeah, you were saying that it was just a wild idea I was thinking about.
My favorite
And
type of
then
idea.
yeah, the night after that, we were talking about it. I did some like research on,
Oh, that's
you
right.
know,
Right.
the actual history of ducks.
And where these toy ducks and rubber ducks kind of like introduce themselves into the human awareness.
Yeah, and I
Um,
kind of noticed that it has a ton of similarities to like any other uh collective idea.
yeah, and that's actually one of the ideas in this. There's two things. There's ideas that create and there's ideas that destroy in our theme,
Right.
which I think is really fun. And because I think one of the things that, the episode dropped today, actually, the What the Duck, the first episode dropped today. So we did the last time we were doing this was 2 weeks ago. Look at all the ducks dropped. Like it's just so many of them. And then, I
All
mean,
in a row.
one of the things that dropped today too was the one of us talking about how what tulpas are and how thought forms come into exist and how we're kind of like caught up in that cycle, right? Um,
Yeah.
so everybody, people who are fans of the show and who catch our shorts and stuff like that, they have caught up with that. Um, and that's where for me this has been really interesting because one of the things we talk about that is we're creations of a being who thinks of us in the same way that we think of ducks, these rubber ducks. It just lovingly created us, for all our unique forms and facets, right? Um, and so that's one thing that I think with Cox in Space, what we wanted to do is remind people that our sole role in the universe as it exists, as the creation of this being that created, is just to use our unique selves to spread happiness to everyone that we can, right? And be that
Right.
agent. And with this show, the idea that you need to notice that ideas can either create or destroy you, is a concept that I think that people need to understand too. That there's no such thing as thought crimes. Just for awareness, like it's not illegal to think about stuff. But
Right.
the more that you think about stuff, the more things like manifest through you. Is that a Tamagotchi duck? It is. It's a little
Where?
it's a little in the left hand corner. Look left. I have no idea how you navigate. It just went through the tunnel, all the way through the. Okay, yeah, it got now. It's probably went around the bend. Well, that's right. I forgot you have to latch on the ducks to find them. Um,
Yep. Just got to follow this one that's following him. Maybe we'll see
this
him.
sounds good. But yeah, I think that because I think that people need to know that. Like, we need to be careful about what we think about, even though, there's no shame in thinking about the things that you think about. Like, when an idea explodes into your brain, that's not your fault.
Right.
The thing that you do after that thought happens is your responsibility, though. Not that we feel guilty about it, right? But like, just recognize that that's where you spend time in your brain is the things that begin to manifest in your reality. That's just that's cause and effect. That's like saying where you sit, you leave an imprint. I don't think that's like, uh, a bizarre concept to like try to argue. Although, does that sound bizarre to you? There it is, the Tamagotchi duck.
Oh, fucking way, dude.
Like, that's just like people are like, how weird can we get with this? Because
That's so
it's
awesome.
literally just a
I love it.
Tamagotchi in the space where his
And
head's
it's
at.
gonna, I guarantee it's gonna hatch because they all do like different little
Oh, yeah,
things.
of course it
Yeah.
is. Do you have to
Yeah.
interact with it at all, or do you think it'll take care of itself?
Nope, you just gotta wait.
Okay, because it'll eventually hatch. It'll poop in its container. You have to feed it, and if you don't feed it,
Right.
it will die. If it has too
Yeah.
much poop, it will get unhappy and get sick.
No,
Um,
Tamagotchis are amazing, and that could be in like a that could be like a sequel to the Ducks.
well, they're a
Digital
very
pets.
similar form, right? Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
There's a lot of gigapets that are out there that they're just waiting for their owners to come back. As soon as something powers it
Right.
back on, it'll be like, "Hey, where are?" And then you'd be like, "Oh crap, where am I? Where's my person? You're not
Right.
my person." Same thing with
Yeah.
Tamagotchis, like thousands of years in the future. Some humanoid. Anyway,
So what was the question? I apologize. I got distracted by the
we wanted to chase down
Tamagotchi.
the Tamagotchi duck. No, I was glad that we did it. Just the concept that we need to be aware of what is happening in our thought life because our thought life brings things into reality. Because we are like the thing that created us. When we think about stuff, it manifests. Um,
Well, I would say that humans are like 70% subconscious and 30% physical form.
I would give you that. Yeah, I'd say it's probably like 2080, but more like, yeah, I'd say 2575 is yeah, likely. Yeah, right.
Yeah.
Um, well, there's this division, and it's probably a range for some people. Like, there's some people who are more manifested in this reality, and there's some people who are less.
And that's true. Obviously, not everybody is the same, but I would say overall, humans are definitely more about what is it like. It doesn't matter what kind of human it is, like doesn't matter if they're religious or atheist or anything. They are focusing on. We are all focusing and calculating things that animals have no concern with and couldn't give two fucks about.
Well, yeah, absolutely. I think what you're saying is that we are our thoughts, right? Mostly as humans, we are our thoughts, where
Yeah, I
animals
think
seem to be
that's what
more present in their
that's kind of
physical
what
reality.
makes you who you are is mostly your subconscious. Anything
Right.
that happens in your subconscious, that's what you're seeing when you see somebody. You're seeing a whole culmination of years of the subconscious
100%. Why parents
guiding.
will let their kids grow up for one,
Right,
or why you have vertigo when you meet old friends. Um,
right.
right? Yeah, because you just, like that you're colliding back. And there's just it's this tricky thing because we have words. I think this is why it happens. When we have words, we put pins kind of like as locations in our brains, and a bunch of ideas kind of like um, form around that. Uh, and so we begin to identify ourselves. Um, I think it's the idea that this Zen idea that when we attach ourselves to things is where the suffering begins. Uh,
Right.
that's not a direct quotation, but I also don't speak the original language, so I think it's not going to be held against me. Um, for some reason,
Yeah, it's a very common Eastern theme to. Um,
well,
like with
when you're
Buddhism
trying,
and stuff.
sorry,
That's
I'm sorry for
basically the
butting
whole
in here.
basis of Buddhism is
Yeah,
like, um, the whole reason you suffer is because you're attached. You're attached to like physical things that die. But
well,
like you yourself, you are an
yes, that's
aperture of something that doesn't die. And that even Star Wars, that was like the whole idea behind like Revenge of the Sith. Yoda said, "Train yourself to let go of everything you fear to lose." Um, and that's like,
it's a very
that's the
fast
same
duck.
basis of what they're saying in like
Uh,
Buddhism and
yeah,
Eastern
100%.
meditation and stuff like that.
And
Yeah.
I also think it's bigger than that, though. I think that the because it's ideological. It's not just about the physical world, and because this is what you're saying is that we're more like 80 to 70 80%
Yeah.
ideological, right? And because we're based off of ideas, and we have this, who I am is based off of how I see myself, and I see myself generally as the things I can define myself as, um, male, wealthy, skin color, um, height, status. And so that's what really makes us upset, like because those become our vulnerabilities. Ducks are going up. Oh wow, there's a duck eating his duck sandwich. Yes,
That was awesome.
that was pretty cool. Isn't so duck right until he hatched. Uh, yeah. So anyway, but yeah, those physical things are just things that we're holding on to. And those are things that are given to us anyway, and are steadily being taken away. As we age, our gender changes, for instance, and we lose it eventually, male or female, or anywhere in between that you want to identify. Like it's just, it's not something we get to hold on to. Our whole life, that we create for ourselves, it's all going to be stripped away from us, and it was given to us before we got here too. So it's a strange thing to
Wait,
hold
wait,
on
wait.
to.
Did you say that your gender changes?
Yeah, well, I mean, over time, we eventually, ultimately, everyone becomes genderless because it becomes like a kind of a moot point.
How's that?
Well, like as an old man, there's no reason to propagate at all. You know what I mean? Like your desire for sex eventually just kind of withers up to nothing because it's evolutionarily unnecessary.
I don't know if that like changes. I understand what you're saying, but like I don't
But
know if
but
that
like I just like it.
negates that you are a man. Like
I mean, in a lot, but that's the thing that causes problems for a lot of people is as they lose that sex drive, which they use to define themselves as manliness, then they start to feel like they're no longer a man, right? And the same thing with women. Like women have the same issue when they move out this age of fertility, they begin to feel absolutely useless. Because our culture like prides it so much, and so in that way they become degendered or ungendered, like at the way that old women and old men are like they're no longer part of whatever the pool is.
yeah. Yeah. I
And just the
see
same way
what you're
that you
getting
change
at.
from
I'm not
like,
sure if I look at it the same way, but
but
that's an
okay,
interesting thought. I've never thought about it that way
I,
before. It is
I
interesting.
was basically just backing up the idea that you were saying that like that well where this whole thing started, this is a kitty, that we need to be careful about how we think about things, whether it's good or bad, because an idea can either create something beautiful or it can destroy you. Um, and so again, there's no such thing as thought crimes, right? Like thinking about stuff is fine, but just recognizing that the more you think about stuff, the more that it manifests. Um, and so that's where
Yeah.
that idea was kicking off from. And so like holding on to things like, um, again, just like as you go through like a cis normative, whatever, you go from being a boy to being a man to being an old man, and all of those have different identities to them. And so if you hold on to one of those identities, like if you become a man that holds on to being what you believe you are as a boy, then you're a man who never evolves, right? Or if you hold on to trying to be a man when you become an old man, then you become this thing that is like it's almost like a buffoon, right? Like one who doesn't recognize his place in time, or that sort of thing. Um, and even
That
greater for
that could be the case.
the old men who hold on to being boys, because I've seen that as
Right.
well.
And I see that a lot with my job. I wouldn't say that, they're like losing who they are or like their personhood or anything, but I would say that
Well,
because
a
a
part of
lot
it,
of
I guess.
times when
Yeah, I
they
guess that's
go,
the whole thing. I guess I was being a bit dramatic. I see what you're saying.
yeah, I just don't think it's one or the other, but that's pointless anyway. A lot
Yeah,
of
I
times when I
see.
go
Yeah,
to
no, I see
these
what you mean. Yeah.
when I go to these customers' houses and I go to install whatever appliance we're putting in or taking out or whatever, um, a lot of the older guys, they get like, you can tell they're uncomfortable because a bunch of like young strong guys have to come do this thing that he could do if he was in his day or whatever.
Right,
And
right, yeah,
yeah,
exactly. That's
it's a
like
big deal,
it's
you
a
know what I
loss of
mean?
manliness. Yeah, yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
And that's where
And a
like
lot of them like absolutely love us because they get to like be around some young guys for a while.
bros again, they
um
get to do bro things,
yeah,
like work on the
yeah, pretty much.
dishwasher or whatever.
Yeah,
That is cool.
and they'll get so excited if they have a tool that you need like in the moment. They'll be like, "Oh yeah, I got this really cool drill or whatever. Let me go grab it." Like.
It's like Hank
So,
Hill, and he's like, "Well, thanks, guys. Can I get you a beer?"
yep. That's literally how it goes, dude.
That's
It's
what's up.
crazy.
That's what's up. I mean,
And
yeah.
we
So
we
like,
do get tips sometimes, and most of the time that's what they say. They're like, "Go get yourself some beer." It's like right on. That's how you know you're in Wisconsin.
right, right. And that is that's the cool thing. Right. And right, there's the double-edged sword. You're actually pointing out the thing. Where like it's a cool thing to have a recognized group, right? To be like one of the
Hmm.
dudes, one of the guys, and to be like part of that and recognize that you belong there. Um, and I feel like this probably with any nationality too, and definitely not in any pride sense for any specific nationality or skin color. I remember a teacher was showing me, a history teacher in eighth grade. He was talking about how he went to Disneyland on Christmas, and he didn't realize that white people don't go to Disneyland on Christmas, but everybody else does. Um, and so for the first time in his
What?
life, yeah, it was wild. Yeah, that he was just like surrounded by like all these different nationalities and languages, and it was like he was international, but he was actually in California. Um, because like
Jesus.
yeah, right. And so just like his mind like kind of broke a little bit, because yeah, there was no one speaking English in the park in Disneyland.
That makes sense. No white. I mean,
They're
I
all
don't
sitting
know
at
any
home,
person that wants to go to Disneyland on
not
Christmas. I
on
mean, fuck.
Christmas. Yeah, they're during the family
Yeah,
things and whatnot.
right. That's
Um,
so weird.
but so
It's
like
like a
the
natural phenomenon of like everybody else like takes advantage of it. But it's just weird that there's got to be some white people there that are
Well,
like, oh
I
yeah,
mean, maybe it's an exaggeration. Maybe he's pointing out, and that
yeah,
is also a large park, so maybe it was just the numbers were so
right.
slim that he wasn't surrounded by those people. And
It
he,
could have been, yeah, it could have been different, but
but yeah,
that is an interesting thought.
the point
Holy
specifically is
shit.
like it is nice to be part of a group that's recognized. So like ideological groups are really comforting to humans, and that's why we form them. But then the idea that if we get attached to those groups is when we start having all sorts of problems. Like I definitely think like it's great to like be like happy around your family who is definitely all the same race as you probably. Um, and so like you love your family and you love your people. That's an awesome thing to do wherever you're from and whatever nation or people that you're from you represent. I think that's awesome. But when you think that then now that you're better than any other group is where you take that ideology much further. Or now that if somebody is insulting that group, like it means all the people you love. Like and it's just like that attachment is what is causing this distress
Absolutely,
to
yeah.
these ideas.
Because you get attached to things that are just distracting at the end of the day. If somebody
Right.
fucking insults, all gingers or redheads or whatever,
I was going to
I
use
could
that as an
get mad
example. I
about
don't
it,
think people
you
know
know?
that you are specifically a redhead, although I put it on the thumbnail
Yeah.
frequently, so they should know by this time. But and people,
Yeah,
like yeah, but like it's okay to be like, love the fact that you have red hair, right? Like that's a cool
well, that's
thing.
the thing. Yeah, And so it pisses some people off. They either think I'm ugly or like they're jealous or like there's a whole
And you,
spectrum of like how people feel about me
just
just for the way I look.
yeah, and for one trait in particular, because it's not like it's your whole
Yeah.
identifying characteristic. It's not like you're albino or
No.
like anything like that. Where it
Yeah.
is like a full like whole body. Um, and so what an interesting, right? Like, and so then it's this idea of what is red hair and what that means to people. Now they're having a reaction to
Yeah.
you that has nothing to do with anything that you're about, or anything that you've done.
Right.
And that's where I'm like, yeah, that's where that's attachments causing distress. Anyway, this is a long, rambling example. I hope that was helpful. The the purpose was actually to get to this duck story. Is it okay if I read this duck story?
Yeah, I mean, I don't. This is just a duck sesh, dude. It doesn't have
Yeah,
to all be about ducks because the ideas are gonna work themselves in. We just gotta. We're
for
like running on the treadmill of information right now.
for sure. I think we got a good flow going. That's why I was like, yeah,
Yeah.
let me read what we've got so far because I like this guy, and then I'll pitch you the
Yeah, for
next.
sure.
I'll pitch you the next moment. Um, So this is what I realized from our previous session is the whole season and probably the whole show is actually this idea. If we think up ducks, what thinks up us, right? And so that's a
Yeah.
big exploration that we'll kind of like touch on in little pieces as we go through this. But this first episode, which is made up of these five little episodes, it's about this. Is life is an interdimensional metamorphosis, and rubber ducks are a tulpa that needs us to think of them in order to be created. And they take advantage of our times of metamorphosis in order to spawn into our lives. Um, and so this first episode that we're looking at, I think we're talking like it's only like a minute and a half or something, like a minute 15 seconds, if I remember correctly. I can tell you right now. Yeah, a minute and a
Yeah.
third of a minute, 20 seconds. Um, it's about this man who says fisherman, but he wants to be a sailor. Um, so he's not a good fisherman, and we actually find out he's not a fisherman. He's a crab trap man, right? He's a crabber. Um,
Oh, he's an oyster farmer. Yeah, yeah,
Oh, an
yeah,
oyster farmer. That's how he's an oyster farmer.
yeah.
So he's not a good oyster farmer because he's constantly daydreaming of adventures with the sailor duck, and his wife is on his case. Yeah, he takes a toaster to the
Right.
bathtub, and he locks eyes with sailor duck. That's kind of like our premise. Yeah, this is fun. I remember this guy. This guy is really funny.
Is there any is there any sort of other like method that could be like closer to like fishing or something?
Like oysters? Yeah, probably. We doesn't have to be a toaster. That was just the pitch, but that's wherever it is,
Yeah,
that's
no,
where he
I'm
meets
just
sailor duck.
pitching that now.
100%. I like where you're going. I think we're headed into the climax where we're gonna about to see that. So it's a good time to think about it. Those specifics were just to like give us a frame. This is here. This is the story. We're on on a ship, on the deck of a ship, and it's really bright colors. And Sailor Duck is watching Erwin, who's the man who's like 55, and he's hauling a huge fish out of the ocean. And then it cuts to like this oyster farm in the shallows, and it's all like faded colors. And Tracy's a woman who's in her 50s. She splashes water at Erwin, and she breaks him out of his daydreams. Oh, that's right, I forgot. Tracy's fucking cute as hell. All right, because she loves Erwin, but he doesn't love his life. Um, Tracy
Yeah,
smiles
no,
at
she's cute as a button, as
yeah,
they
yeah,
say.
exactly. Yeah. Tracy smiles at Erwin, who scowls back at her before looking around himself in disgust. In the distance, Erwin can see burly fishermen pulling huge fish from their boats onto a dock as the crowd admires. Oh man, we really fucked him over. Um, and then the title pops up, and it's like, this is the longest type of moment. This will feel like the title pops up, and it's like, this is Erwin and his wife, Tracy. Erwin shivers at the morning cold and pulling oysters out of the water. And it's like, on the coast, you're either a fisherman or a bottom feeder. This is actually a oysterman, right? Now,
Yeah, he's a oysterman. That's a good one.
I don't know if that's actually a
And
word, but I'm gonna say it. Yeah, it actually corrects
how
to
about
an
okay, check
oysterman.
this out.
Yeah.
So it could be in a fictional town, right? And then that way oysterman can be a thing. because it's not even a real town.
Right, yeah, we can, yeah, that's what I was like, yeah, that if it's not like, it's like a Dr. Seuss type of word, where like, yep,
Yeah,
there,
he's a oysterman.
he's
Yeah,
an oysterman now. So yeah,
it's
I'm
perfect.
about it. And then it's like, a young Arwen is in a wading pool making sailor ducks swim around. And then it's like, and if your father, the title pops up, it's like, and if your father is an oyster farmer, you're an oyster farmer. And so
Yes.
that was kind of the setup that we had leading um, into the set. What's up, Aaron Cosbill in the audience? How are you, buddy? Um,
Oh, you made it. Hell yeah.
so this next moment is a very short one. It's like just a few lines. I think we get 3 lines altogether. Oh yeah, this is actually the format that we're using makes this really simple because all you have to do is count lines. Um, and it's about this a collective belief. Um, and this collective belief, oh cool, because we actually started the show talking about this idea how collective beliefs kind of make us who we are. This collective belief is defining who this guy is. It is negative for him. It's all mental, and it's about him being impatient while he's being a young old person, or it also can be seen as being an old young person, depending on how you want to
Right.
use it. It's how there's like you can be both at the same time, and it's pretty ironic how youth and age are almost always
Okay.
depending on perspective.
Can we put a bookmark in what we're saying for 1 second?
Yeah.
Okay.
What's up?
I just gotta pitch something for, an eventual episode. Can we do a riff on the on the on the Jesus toast? Hold on. Just for our audience, we'll make sure that people are up to speed on that.
Yeah, because I need
Um,
to facts too.
Jesus on toast.
Oh, you mean like that? Okay, I got you.
Is this the right one?
A South Carolina woman has a spiritual link to this piece of toast.
It's
Linda Lowe
spiritual.
says she's looking at an image of Jesus in melted cheese.
It's just the peace that he has on his face. It's just there's a sweetness on this
Toast owner.
particular image that just makes me want
But
to
why?
smile when I look at it.
Why?
Last fall, Lowe says she and her boyfriend intended to make a piece of cheese toast
There
for
it
a late-night
is.
snack,
It
but
looks
when
like
it
the
came out of
Lion
oven,
King to me,
it was seen as the image
or
of
like a
Christ.
bear or something.
Her son tried to sell it on eBay, but the picture wouldn't upload, so Lowe took that as a sign that God wanted her to keep the edible image of Jesus. Now she keeps it in a
No.
Tupperware container in her bedroom.
No,
She
bro.
says it serves as a reminder that Jesus is always with her.
How
John
moldy
Milne, The
is that
Associated Press.
cheese?
Oh no, it probably just like solidified. I'm surprised she didn't like put it in whatever that resin stuff is to like
That would
preserve
have,
it forever.
but it doesn't actually. It actually rots inside the resin. It's fairly gross. Um,
Yeah.
that's why I was wondering, like, oh my God, why and how?
Where's this
So
music coming from?
you want to? That's a good question. I thought it was coming from you. Uh, I don't have anything open that is playing music. Nope, it's got to be coming from you.
Oh, okay, there we go.
Yeah, it is.
I was like, what the
I
fuck?
mean, it's good.
Alright. It was nice, but I don't know if we would get copyrighted. It is a mix, so probably not, but let's not take that chance.
Right, yeah. I mean, like, I'm glad for those guys, but
So yeah, the whole reason I
the
played
Jesus
that
on
video
toast,
is because
like a
I
duck.
wanted to, yeah, like somebody is you know, about to like divorce their husband or something, and then they see their childhood duck in toast, and then it changes their mind.
So yeah, exactly. This is the type of let me start a new file of duck episode ideas. Because I think we had one
Toast
going,
duck?
yeah, back and forth, just in conversation. I'll have to put into this, but like, um, Yeah, going forward, because these are all really short episodes, and little premises is really all we need. Um,
Yeah, yeah. Some and sorry to like put a wrench in everything,
no,
but I just come up with this shit
at, at
spontaneously.
this point, and I'm going to share it with you too. At this point, when they come up, we have a place to put them. That way, we don't have to try to keep them in the brain while we're focusing on something else, and then also we can have them when we need them later. Um,
Right.
so, and that would specifically be why. Um, cool. Um, so, what do you think is the collective belief that Erwin's holding on to? Is it, and it was probably leading from this idea that if you're an oyster farmer, you're always an oyster farmer, right?
Right.
Um,
Um,
and he's,
and that's what he finally lets go. I guess he finds out that I forget what the idea was. I think that he got a boat or something
yeah, I think
and like
ultimately
went to
that's
do his
that's what
own,
we wanted him to end up at.
went to go fish off all by himself, and he was happy about it with his duck.
Yeah, just these three lines
And
in
like
this.
that's like kind of the story. It's I'm still kind of struggling with the short form stuff, because obviously with short form you don't need as many details, but I think that that could be a good one. When after the duck somehow saves his life, he it just like has this epiphany that he has been trying to become this thing because his father wanted to be that and never
Yeah,
was able to be,
yeah,
and so
that
he didn't want to take the same footsteps of his father and like not be able to be anything but an, an oysterman.
an oysterman. Yeah, yeah, exactly. Um, either and if your father's an oysterman, you're an oysterman. We're actually going to say it 3 times just so it becomes definitely a word that is
It has
said.
to be a thing. Yeah,
Yeah, it is a
we are
thing.
bringing that word into existence.
If yeah, exactly. That's our tulpa, if it
Yep.
doesn't already exist. Yeah. So then it's this idea. So young Erwin is in the waiting pool, which means we're gonna cut back to the older one, or maybe was it that his father wanted to retire, so he made Erwin take over the oyster farm, even though he didn't want to do it. And Erwin is waiting so
No,
that he can retire and give it to his son or something.
no, I think it should be like he understands that because his father never really his dad like wanted to become this thing and was never able to be, and so he was always like sad and stuff, and he just wanted like he doesn't like try to force him to do it, but basically he gives him the idea that like because he's pessimistic, his dream didn't work out, so he just tells his son like, yeah, no, if you're I was an oysterman and you're going to be an oysterman, and that's just how life is, kid, suck it up.
Okay, gotcha.
And
So what did
then
his
maybe like
his dad want to be?
he wanted to be one of the big strong fishermen,
His dad also wanted to be
just
a
like
fisherman?
yeah, but he never made it happen.
Gotcha. Okay, gotcha. Um,
For some odd reason, maybe he like got a leg injury or something, so his dad is kind of just bitter and like convinced him that he had to be a certain thing.
um,
And then after his brush with death, he comes to the epiphany that he doesn't need to impress the big strong fishermen. He doesn't even need to become one of them. He's gonna just get a boat and go fish off on his own with his rubber duck.
right, yeah, yeah. And him and Tracy can go off and do that. Um, who do you think? So the collective belief is that this idea that once you're an oysterman, you're always an oysterman. And so who is he like being impatient about wanting to reach his retirement? Um, and he's a young old person, so he's not an old person, so he can't retire.
The main character,
Yeah, Irwin.
I think the main character should be like in his 30s.
We described him
So
as
like he's done
50
a
previously. Do we want to back that up?
Yeah, I think so because after like reframing everything, I think it should be like more kind of inspirational, you know.
How do you
Um,
mean?
and yeah, so
How do you mean?
well, it'll be like him overcoming these ideas that he's been fed not only by his father but like the rest of the people on the island or whatever or
Oh,
town on
gotcha.
an island.
So you don't think it's inspirational for him to be doing it at 50? You think it's more inspirational for him to be breaking the chains at 30?
Yeah, I think the average person that would be watching it would relate more to a younger person.
Okay. Is he still married?
Yeah, he's married. None of that changes, but he's younger, and he is the reason why I think like in it like 32 or 35 is like the perfect age because he's done a lot of oyster work and he is getting tired of it and he's wondering, he's getting older and he doesn't want to become like his dad and become bitter and
Cool, cool. I
shit
like where
like
you're going
that.
with this. Okay, cool. So as you changed it up, so he's a young, he's an old young person in that he's getting
Yeah,
to the
he's
point
a
where
old
he's like, oh shit, like I'm at the end of being young and I don't want to do this
right.
anymore. Okay.
Yeah, he's
Um,
like, what am I gonna do? I've been dreaming about being one of these fishermen for so long, but like I just can't get there. Or like maybe they don't like him, or I don't know. There might be more to be had with the fisherman, but not sure.
yeah, 100%. I think I mean, that's the major opposing force to him is his desire to do that and the people who are that who aren't him. So I think that's cool. So how do we express this idea? Is it that his back and legs are aching in the cold water? Um, and we pop up a card that says that he's no longer feeling like he can do that, or and how do we express his
Yeah.
impatience?
Um. Yeah, that could be it. It could be like maybe showing like a fast lapse of his morning routine. Uh,
Uh,
Something
okay.
like that.
So,
It's it's gonna be interesting because you can do the card that says that, but also right, you want to like kind of show it.
yeah, it's both the things. Yeah, so we want to. So it's on the coast, and that the reason we're doing the card specifically in that last moment was because it was pulling up a trait silent movies. So we don't have to
Yeah,
necessarily do that. It was really just to like make sure we had that style in there without overwhelming the whole
yeah,
piece.
we should
So
definitely do that. Yeah.
so you want to pull up a card on this one too? You said,
Yeah.
and then
I mean, yeah, you could do a card to show that he's like uh been doing it for a while, or I'm trying to think of a detail you could have in the shot that shows that he's been at it for a
here's the
while.
pitch
Like you said,
coming
his back
directly.
aching and his
Yeah, so we saw this is Irwin and his wife in the last moment. Okay, so this is 2A is and 2B are kind of like they're like if you're knocking a ball back and forth in tennis, one is they knocked the ball onto one side of the net and B is where they're knocking the ball back. They're like set up like that. Um, and so we see in A that Irwin is shivering in the morning cold, pulling oysters out of the water, and we see him in the wading pool making sailor ducks swim around. Um, do we want to see something like where we see, ooh, uh, Irwin like age up really quick, and then he like shudders and like shakes his head. Uh, like so we see that he imagines himself oystering for another 20 years, and then maybe a card that says, but he doesn't want to be like his dad,
yeah.
something like that, because I think that captures all the things we were just talking about. All right, so um, we're gonna go back to Irwin. And yeah, the idea of making him younger, it's actually interesting because like when he scowls at his wife at 55, we know that he is a very bitter old man. But when he scowls at her at 35, there's still like maybe he's just having a rough day, which is interesting. I didn't realize that dynamic was changing by changing his age.
Yeah, I guess, huh?
Well, yeah, because it's just like, you know what I mean? Like, I think older guys who are grouchy, you just know that that's how they are all the time.
Yeah, and that's true. But I think if you show, him as a child and his dad telling him that stuff, and then you cut to him at 30, I think that'll work.
Yeah, for sure. That's what I was saying. Is that I think that the cool part about changing his age is that it makes him there's an opportunity for hope where there was less hope. It's more surprising that he would change at 50 or 60.
Right.
Old dogs, new tricks. And then
Right,
also,
yeah, I think that would be a motivating force of like, oh man, I'm getting older and I'm gonna end up just like my dad.
and so this one actually might not end with a toaster at all, or this might not climax at a toaster at all. I'm seeing,
Like
because
maybe the toaster, but I was thinking something that's like he tries to hang himself with like a fishing net or something. I don't know.
well, so the thing is, for him, it doesn't seem like he'd be driven to that. It seems like the tulpa's getting in just for him imagining what it would be like. Like the daydreaming is where it's coming in at. Um, you know what I mean? Um,
Okay. So what if like it doesn't even have to be the thing. It could be like he's one day finds like uh he just finds his old duck
what if he
that
comes across the
inspires
old
him
ducks,
to do.
his old duck, and he's like, "Oh yeah," and then like his life changes, and we see like he just because actually what he wants to do is not this. Um,
Yeah, he
yeah,
looks at his duck and he's like, "Well, you just like float and do your own thing, and nobody bothers you."
right.
So maybe that's what drives him to be like, you know what? I'm gonna just get my boat and I'm gonna do my own fishing, and then he becomes one of the most successful career fishermen of the whole island or whatever or town, whatever it is.
Right, yeah, exactly. Maybe, and yeah, or just like, yeah, the freedom, like whatever the success is for him of being the fisherman. But yeah, it might be, yeah, because I mean, we were ultimately being dramatic about like these deaths, um, but we're not actually in the. Oh no, we are though. We'll see how this voiding turns out. Because the way that we use voiding, which was that the idea, like, that destruction, the nothingness, was the way that his relationship's broken, that she's smiling at him and he can't even appreciate it. And what he's really yearning for is another life. Like he's so checked out of his own life. So yeah, I think in this case it is really like this idea that he has to be a fisherman or he has to be an
Right.
oysterman, that is destroying him, and that is like a type of suicide.
Yeah, yeah, essentially. Like it doesn't have to be all extra with the hanging and
Well, yeah, in this case, yeah, we were when we I think we were willing to write the story, we had a different type of scenario in mind, but like we're pulling out a
yeah,
more real one, which I'm definitely appreciating, which means that we still have that toaster idea for whoever that belongs to.
right. I think some of them can be like get serious a little bit, or and that one won't be like super serious with it'll just be like an inspiring, cute little like introduction to what the ducks are doing. Um, and then there's some where we can just get really silly with it with like with the toaster, with the um duck on toast.
Yeah, exactly. Well, we do have a toaster in the Duck on Toast um, episode. I mean, the possibility of.
That's true.
I don't
Oh
know if
man.
those are connected somehow, but it does seem funny. Um, Erwin pulls oysters out of the water slowly or quickly aging, um, to uh, like a man of 65, something like that. Um, and like Erwin shakes his head, uh, returning to his original age.
That could be good.
And then we'll put the title card.
Actually, yeah, that's a good idea. Like he showing what he doesn't want to become, or I don't know, because you'd have to show his dad being that too.
Well, I mean, we had the idea, like the title card that just came before it was that if your father's an oysterman, then you're an oysterman. And then we
Right.
see him pulling the oysters out the water and then becoming an old man. And so I'm thinking our audience will make that connection. Um, that it's kind of like, a tradition that was passed down to him, and you can see that he doesn't want it. This
Yeah, sure.
non-dialogue is such a cool challenge. It's really hard, and it's such a cool challenge. I hate it,
Yeah.
and it's also really fun. But it's like very
Yeah, it
different. You
is.
know what I mean? Um,
Right.
were you listening to the conversation the other night with Taylor Wingirter, where we were talking about
Uh,
improv and stand-up? All right, and during
yeah, I
comedy
was there.
for part
Yeah.
of that. Yeah, where dang, the idea that I wanted to share with you, I totally lost in that checking to see if you were there to hear the thought. Um, she was talking about how dialogue. We're so fast to try to add dialogue to scenes on stage because we're so nervous that we forget to set up the rest of the scene. Um, and it is really scary, especially when the adrenaline's pumping, to do
Right.
that. And I think, with people who are writers too, they want to put words on the page, and that's generally people saying stuff. Um,
Yeah, true.
but this is like, this is so this aspect of like not having dialogue because we want to just like have these images tell the story is it's fun. Because I think one of our angles
Yeah.
was right to let it be international to a certain extent because you don't need language to communicate.
Yeah, it'll be a cartoon where like, almost like the Lego instructions that used to come with them. Like there were
There,
no words. It was just pictures
yeah,
so
those
everybody could understand it.
yeah, that was the idea. They made it really hard for me because I would have to try to figure out what it meant to have it from that
Right.
angle. Because you see the first one, and then you cut over to the next one, and it's like totally different. You're like, what parts are missing? Oh my God, how are these pieces
Right.
connected like this? Yeah,
There's got to be a piece on the back I'm not seeing.
yeah. There's no 3D model. I'm hoping now they have like a QR code that brings you over step by step to a 3D model. Is that the instructions now?
I'm pretty sure that they pretty sure Lego has an app where you just like can get instructions and uh I don't know, I haven't messed with it, but I'm pretty sure it's a thing.
Um,
Dude, this is a literal portal right here.
yeah, it's super interesting. Where does that go?
I don't know, I really want to figure it out. It looks like this guy's gonna go into it. Come on. Whoa, it goes into the
It
freaking
just teleports you over there.
no way. It goes into the space bong. That's great. I didn't expect that. I thought it was just gonna like take me outside or something.
Yeah, I didn't. I thought you'd suddenly switched over to another duck or something. Um,
That's really crazy. Like they just appear in here.
how do
What
they
is that?
get? It's a music box duck.
Yes.
Wow, that sound design is unprofessional. You can't even hear the motor.
Right. There isn't a motor
No,
actually.
no,
That's
you
crazy.
can't hear it. No.
Like the lid does flip open, but I don't think I'm hearing a motor at all. Oh, into the spaceship. Very nice.
What type of duck is sitting behind it with the like spiky head?
I think that's pufferfish duck.
Oh, that's right. And like pops people all around.
Yeah,
Yeah, yeah. It, I
I
hope
can't
it
figure out
doesn't.
what that guy is. Who is this?
It's like a metal alloy or something.
Yeah, something like that.
The
Very
ducks.
interesting. We got. Oh no.
Ducky pajamas.
Nice.
He's definitely
Oh
not
no
staying
no
in the
no!
seat.
I lost it. There we go.
Look how
Oh, he
heavy he
fell out of
is.
his seat.
Yeah, he's not sitting in his seat.
Oh yeah, he's just pure metal, huh?
It seems like just touring the facility.
Yep.
It is shit. All right, so we're actually reaching the cool part of this episode. Um, and as you see, it's kind of been like building up to itself. You can like, there's this tension building between like how he won't stand it. Um, we're reaching the point where he has
Right.
to do something. He's about to make a change. And we have 5 lines to take that action. So this is a minor change. I kind of think of it as like a 45-degree angle to
Right.
what was happening before. So he starts to move in that direction, and then we're gonna do we're gonna do a major change in the last 2 moments, where it like completely breaks away and creates this big change. So if we were still going the suicide route, we would do that here, but I don't think we are. So it's interesting. I'm interested in seeing where it's going. Here's the
Yeah.
cue is that uh, it's about them creating. It's about what this collective belief creates, and the relationship between itself and the creation. It's something happening in the physical world. Yeah, it's about our character maintaining self-control and then experiencing their own hidden universe, which, if I remember correctly, is our
Yeah.
setup from the initial part of the show, and it is, yeah. So this might be where um, he meets the duck. The duck quacked at the appropriate time.
Yeah, I think so. He finds his an and I guess it doesn't have to be his childhood duck because if we make it a childhood duck every time, I don't know. That
Right.
is usually where people see their ducks, though. I mean,
Yeah. Yeah. Interesting. Is it something that's always um? So here's the thing that's interesting at this part of the mirror is it's the last negative move that we make, and then we hit our first positive move in the next moment. Um, so the collective belief what in this episode is that if you basically have to stay in your own cast, right? Like, whatever your dad's job is your job. Um, and this portion, that's creating something. So what is that creating for Erwin? Um, what type of problem is that creating in his relationships? So are we gonna see him at home maybe with
yeah.
Tracy?
Um,
Because that would create a minor change because I'd take him out the water. Um, and then we get to see their hidden
I
universe,
mean,
because so we can see their private interactions together.
that could be good, but I think on the beach was good because like he's you're kind of getting two things done at once there. I feel like.
Um, I support the idea of the beach if we can find something else for them to do on it. Are they gonna start cleaning oysters maybe?
Yeah, they could be like cleaning oysters together, I guess, and that
Okay,
that also
what if
reinforces the fact that she's like a very helpful person and
right, and so they're
kind
cleaning
and stuff.
oysters, and it is a nasty job, and I'm sure he's probably like puking, or like not puking, but like it's just he's like making faces as he's doing it because it's so disgusting, it's so cold that they're doing another thing. What if they find a pearl in the next moment, and that like
Oh, that's a good one. I
changes
never
everything,
thought about
and
that.
that's why he can get the boat, um, is because they find that pearl from shucking oysters. Um, so okay. Um, what we see in these five
Okay, all right.
moments.
So what if we make it like, I love the pearl idea. They find a pearl, but like somehow the duck has got to be the reason that they find that.
Okay, I got you. I got you. Um, well, and yes, I think so. The lead up motivation. What we've been tying the duck to is that the duck is the inspiration for the boat. To that like he has the most fun when he's in his imagination sailing with that duck. Um, and so after these moments of getting the pearl, there's going to be something where he has to interact with the duck, I think, and that's going to connect him physically to the story, and then that will get him physically on the boat. I think that's what you're saying.
Um,
Like,
yeah,
the
because I
duck
don't.
has to be the
You got
one
to
who
relate
gets
the
him
two somehow, but I'm
the
not quite
pearl,
sure.
right? Um,
Yeah, like maybe they see a duck at the in the sand or something, and then under it is a clam that has a pearl in it or something like that. And it's like, what are the odds, you know? But that's how ducks work.
right, right. Okay, let's take care of this last final negative moment, and that will lay the groundwork for that next moment too. So we'll get some more specifics, and that will help us like kind of hone that in. Because we have like a piece that's out there that we're trying to connect to. So yeah, with that in mind, let's work towards that positive moment. But it's this moment here that we were saying like, Erwin. Do you shuck oysters directly on the beach? I thought they shuck them like right before you serve them.
And probably, but it could be like they're washing them together or anything like that. Doesn't have to be like. It's just got to be. Maybe she's helping him move them, or she's driving with him back with all
Right,
the
right.
oysters in the truck or something.
Um, and it also could be what if they, because sometimes you'll do it like for, how there's like a crowd of people who are watching the guys pull the fish off the boat. Um, Sometimes you do it for people who are buying them right as they come off, um, like come out of the harvest.
Right.
But I don't know if that's true. Because I think a lot of people have. Because I know people who shuck oysters in restaurants, so they go to the restaurants closed. Um, but, um, so what do you say? We're driving somewhere, or we're having them? They're hauling the load up into the truck and driving silently. Uh, she's like looking over at him, like trying to like have any sort of interaction that he's just like locked in, something like that.
Right. He's just locked in, looking at the road, dreaming, like daydreaming.
Daydreaming, yeah. And as he's driving, it shifts over to him being in the boat at the wheel of the boat, and she's not there, right? So
Right.
so Urin, okay, gotcha. Um, this is gonna be at the docks. Okay, there you go. Nope.
Because it's always by the shore, right? Like,
Yeah.
yeah.
And then that doesn't matter. Change doesn't go quite so. It lets us stay at the beach. So like exterior, like dock, specifically Irwin's truck. Something like that. And it's all like grayish. When we saw them, oh yeah, I was saying like faded colors. Gotcha. Just trying to make that consistent. Duh. You have like an idea strike you?
Um, no, I was gonna see if we could just shout out these ideas real quick.
Oh, the ones you guys did earlier. Yeah, 100%.
I might have to go pick up my girlfriend soon. I'm not sure, so
Gotcha.
we'll see.
Um, oh, also, we're at the first stop of the hour, so let me just call out. We're at Cox and Space Podcast. This behind the scenes, the Sesh program with Flamingo and myself, Skip Marazi. Here, you can find out more about coxinspace.com, coxinspace.com. And check us out there for our Discord if you want to join us here, our Patreon if you want to support us, Facebook if you want to socialize. You can come hang out. You can find Chandler and Flamingo and his music at flamingomusic.com. Working on his new EP, so you should be catching that as it's coming out. And then working with some other great musicians like Yadavai, like you did. So, yeah, let's hear these tracks.
Yeah, so these are a lot more rough of ideas than I usually have. But what I was trying to do is just trying to make something fast, and like see how fast I can get the basic idea down, and then be able to have a bunch of different projects to like work on the little intricate parts of, instead of like, I don't know, just trying to get a solid workflow going over time, if that makes sense.
Yeah, absolutely. Consistency is what gets stuff done more than anything else.
Yeah. So I did two of these in like probably an hour
Oh,
today.
nice.
And as you can tell, I used a lot more samples than usual just because I was trying to like do it fast.
I got you.
And because sound design takes a long time.
It
So
really
if you can
does.
find a good sample that like you paid for and does what you need, you might you might as well use it and
Yeah, if you
try
paid
to
for
do
it and
cool
it's
shit
what
with it.
you need, yeah.
And like I did pay for it as well. So, but yeah, this is the first idea.
No, this is fun. Can you turn that up a little bit?
Oh,
Is
I
it
don't
possible?
know.
It might be on my end that that's happening. Oh, it might be. Hang on, let me see if I
I was
can.
gonna say it's like full blast for me, I think.
Okay, cool. Let's hear it. Sorry about that. I think I
Output
did turn it down a little
output
bit.
volume. Oh,
The
I
duck
think.
music was pretty loud, so I think I turned it down there.
Oh, okay. Um, yeah, I can pause this too. That probably is adding a lot of extra noise.
But that got like some smooth jazz sounds.
Yeah, I was trying to go for that with both of them, like just trying to fuse that lo-fi sort of sound with the old school drum and bass. I mean, because they were kind of doing that anyway back then, but like now the tools that are available are crazy. Instead of having to go to a record store and buy a bunch of records, I mean, I just buy samples and
Facts, right?
I can literally just find
Such
you can find whatever sample you want to hear. Basically, somebody's made it.
we do live in such a great world. Um,
Yeah,
in comparison.
right. Yeah, it's just faster and easier, so it allows for more creativity.
That's such a nice jam. That's awesome. Yeah.
Craziest part about this one is I've made 3 sounds from Yottabyte's bong.
From his what? Oh.
From his bong. Yeah. You hear it?
Yeah, no, 100%.
So
So
that sound
that's
is
kind of
also
like
this
incorporated
sound.
in the background.
That's the same sound. That
Nice.
I was just
Unique
using it
organic
to make
sound.
everything that I could.
Yeah.
Yeah. And that's a pretty cool sound, man. Like it fits the when it drops, you know.
Yeah.
And we were just kind of fucking around, seeing what we could do. And then
Right.
this is also
That's his bong?
yep.
Yeah, I
'Cause
would not.
if I change this, you hear that?
Oh, yeah, yeah. Okay, I got you. Yeah. 100%.
So if you switch it to a different synthesizing mode, you can this kind of changes like the width of it, you know. You can make synths out of like pretty much any waveform with that little tool right there. It's pretty sweet. You can just get crazy with
You just get crazy with it. That's so wild. I mean, that means you could use any sound. Yeah.
yeah. You can turn anything into anything else. Yeah, so those 3 sounds are all made from him hitting his mom.
Was he like, wait, hold on, let me record me hitting my bong, see what you can do with it. That sounds like what the setup was.
Yep, that's exactly what he did. He was like, I got a sample for you.
Get shouts. Yeah.
So yeah, I'm gonna refine that one, make it a little bit, a little bit better. Right now it's very blocky, and but the idea is there.
That is fun. That's a fun basis. I mean, I would definitely listen to that. I'm sure there's little flaws in it that you can hear, but that was a fun song. Um, here is the moment that sets up to our oyster moment, and I'm not sure how we're gonna get our oyster moment, but it's gonna set up how we're gonna meet the duck in real life, and I think we're gonna meet him on the road. Um, so. Um, This is just from the brainstorming, right? It's on the oyster farm. It's on the dock. It's all in faded colors. And Tracy helps Irwin load the oysters in the back of their truck. And then it's in the truck. It's faded colors. And Tracy touches Irwin's hand, and he scowls, putting his hand on the wheel. Tracy looks sad, and Irwin watches the road, lost in thought. Uh, that's our
Yeah,
last
that's a good
sad
one.
moment. And so that, whatever the duck's about to do in that next moment, it's based off where you're like, oh God, this relationship's broken. Um,
Right.
I remember this started from the premise that he was going to use the toaster because he's having trouble with his wife, and the story of him and his wife became almost the entire story, which I think is great.
Right. Yeah, I think she should be a big part of it, you know.
Yeah.
It's
Uh,
just a story about him and his wife. Like
yeah.
something kind of simple.
Yeah, and them together. This is the second one.
Yep.
My guy. That's like,
This is perfect duck music, dude.
yeah, it's also like 70s lounge.
Yeah.
God
I
damn.
love it.
Yeah, like all the soundtracks, like, yeah, there it is. I've seen so many horror movies and like of that era, camp of horror that have this vibe to it.
Right.
I didn't realize how nostalgic I was for like basically like 76 to 78 for some reason.
Nice.
For like music and cinema, yeah. And this is it is an it is a vibe for sure. Um,
Yeah.
and also like it's weird. It's also like the hairstyles, the art from that particular point, and the way that people are decorating their houses and stuff.
Right. Yeah, no, I agree that there was a lot more art ingrained into society back then. Everything is stale and gross now.
Well, it's digital. That's why we haven't had any like major social innovations, like with the way that we dress or the way that we decorate our houses or anything, or even in like office buildings and stuff like that. This is why whatever the old buffet became like, you know,
Even
that,
McDonald's.
yeah.
McDonald's looks like an office building now. It used to be
Specifically,
like
yeah.
fun, like, you know, everything had some sort of art and pizzazz to it because it was trying to get your attention.
Yeah.
But now that they're like too big to fail, they just don't give a fuck. And they're like,
Well,
yep,
we-
you're gonna come get a sandwich even if you feel like you're eating in prison.
No,
We know you will.
We exist
know
in
it.
a
I know it.
digital world now. That's why everything has gone on stasis in the physical world. Is because we spend so much time online. Like our desktops and our avatars are all decked out and built up. We have no need to do that in our physical spaces as much. You just put this together?
I put it together today.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, you just, wow.
Yeah. This
Like,
was fun, man.
this is going into one of our time lapses, like our upcoming time lapses. Which,
Yeah, boy.
yeah,
It's a good one for a time lapse.
for real.
Yeah, for both of these, I'm gonna add a little salt and pepper. You know what I mean? And some effects and some variation. I'm gonna probably rewrite the drums. I'm not a
Did
fan
that just
of
loop?
using a lot of samples for drums. Yep.
And it's a
You
perfect
could
loop.
just loop that for.
Yeah,
Yep, you could
see,
loop that
when you
forever.
sent that to me, I hadn't listened to it. One of the angles I'm thinking, you know, and I'm going to throw that out here if you guys want to comment below if you like this, but just put out some like lo-fi tracks for people to study to, just have, you know, like a 5 or, you know, so minute track that loops that you could listen to for like an hour, you know, and then, you know, because you create them, right? That one right there, what is that? 4 minutes?
Let's see. 3:05. But if
Okay.
I add once I add this outro, it'll be like 3:30 or something.
Okay, yeah, and then you loop that, like you could just keep listening to that as you're studying, something that doesn't, you know, interrupt. Anyway, I know that you're
Yeah.
doing things as
Well-
Flamingo, but there's stuff that we've made on the show too, where it's just like, you know, what do you,
The
what do you
whole
do with
idea
that?
is I want to be able to put. I'm gonna have my 4 songs right for my album.
Yes.
For my EP. Hopefully it'll be this one and that one and that one.
Oh,
and-
sweet, the ones that you just made.
There's the
Okay,
other-
gotcha. Oh yeah, no,
Yeah.
not to step on that. Absolutely, put that EP together.
Yeah.
Because I know you're gonna do some more. Cool
These
stuff
are
with that.
all.
And
I
they
think
go,
all 4 of these will be on there.
Oh, and they do.
They should be pretty easy to mix together. They're all in 166, and the idea is to after I come out with this, come out with a mix because I have a little DJ board I can use.
Hell yes.
Come out with a mix of my music mixed with other music that's like it that I like.
That's awesome, and that would actually a lo-fi sesh would be, or you know, like that kind of, yeah, that's awesome.
And you can do that for YouTube, you know, like people don't get copyright striked as long as it's for like a mix, you know, and as long as you put whoever's music it is, you don't get copyright strike because you're giving them like exposure, I guess the word is.
Yeah, that's kind of what along the lines of what I was thinking for it was like the same as a radio station put out that sort of stuff. That would be a really cool mix. Yeah, I mean, putting your music
Yeah.
in there, other people's music in it, because that's what I've been doing. Like the track that we made not too long ago with Yodabyte, you guys jammed together on that. I've been listening to that
Yeah.
one on loop as a background track.
Wild.
You know what I mean?
Hold on,
Like
let
it's
me
not
just-
it's
I
not
forgot what it
finished.
sounded like.
Yeah, Ice Machine. It's not quite
Yeah, the
finished yet.
ice machine. Yeah.
And we're gonna get together with the unknown artist and I think next week to collab on the conclusion of it. Uh, but yeah, it's just a lo-fi vibe that when I'm working on something that is in audio, that I need audio in the background so I have something going. This is it.
That's what's up, man. I remember when we wrote this, and I went into it thinking like, I don't know how to make this shit, dude, but like I tried. And
it's good, yeah, and like
it was this sample that does it. This one right here. Like that's an awesome sample that he made.
Oh yeah, no, that's then we came around, yeah. And then the way he mixed it all up. But also, yeah, that little thing in the background that kind of kicked it off.
Right, it started getting hype for it.
I'm the top one. 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 I'm the top one, the rest get popped up. I'm the top one, the rest get popped up. I'm the top one, the rest
That dude is so hype.
I like
I'm
it
the
though.
top one, the rest get popped on. I'm the top one, the rest get
That's fucking amazing. Yeah, we really cooked on this. It was a good night.
Yeah, it's good. You call back the whistle.
Yeah, he made that too.
That was the one that he was like, no, you can take it out if you want. You're like, no, actually, that's dope. I'm leaving that in there. And then you called it back here, which is awesome.
I'm the top one. I'm the top one.
So why didn't I just... And then this is when it loops back around.
I'm the top one, the rest get popped up. I'm the top one, the rest get popped up. I'm the top one, the rest get popped up. I'm the top one, the rest get popped up.
That's pretty sweet. What did you ask?
Well, I was just saying, just listen when it loops back around, because the way that it connects there at the end, it will pick right back up in the beginning. Like you can just, and that's what got me thinking about like these tracks that you can loop them, or like have them come back, or like play several together.
Also,
that yeah.
This could be like it could be like a 5-minute song. I think what I want to do with this is nail a more, like you said, that I think it should be like lo-fi dub almost. I think that would be super cool. So right now it's a little too hype. I think there should be, you should feel a little hypeness, but it should be also this sort of, keep going with that sort
you're
of
about
thing.
to hit the breakdown at the end of that, and that's why I think like it feels like it does loop, is because like when it goes to the end and then goes back to the intro again, it like gives you that nice like calm feeling again.
That's true, yeah. Interesting, yeah, you're right.
Right? And so like it feels natural, and it was totally accidental when my alarm had gone off 3 times, and I just listened to it over and over again. I was like, oh, this is good. But you're right, because you're like, it has to, the difference between lo-fi and dub is, it gets too hype and then you bring it back down again.
Yeah, so honestly, I might axe that right there. I do like the sample kind of, but it's like, I don't think it matches. That one's good. You can just bring it back, honestly, here.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
No, wah. That beat has felt so naked to me, and I didn't know what was missing from it, but that sample right there makes it work.
There it is. Yep.
Yeah, it kind of like cushions that
just
sound.
needs more.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, that's cool. And like I said,
I didn't mean to like start sound designing.
I reached out to Unknown specifically. I said, the song we worked on tonight, last night or whatever when I reached out to him, I was like, do you want to get together specifically to work on that track? So yeah, I want to hear what he does with the conclusion of it, with us kind of all like chilling together.
Yeah,
If
for
that's cool.
sure.
Um, yeah, he seemed pretty cool with it. So.
Yeah, I'm gonna add a couple more things and then I'll send it back to him.
Yeah,
The
that would be
stems and
the cool.
everything.
Like, just the same way that Yoda like messed around with it in the beginning and then like passed it off, kind of like all the stems. Yeah, I would like to see, because it's the same. Like, it's been really cool to guys watch you guys do your processes, um, because it's
Right.
like, like I said, I used it for the Christmas episode in understanding how sound design should be put together. But then also, I think people who want to learn how to use music, watch you guys all work together on this and see like what you guys are doing the same and different for their own styles and whatnot.
Right.
I haven't heard Unknown make music, but since he's a producer with the rest of you guys, I imagine he's capable. Yeah.
Yeah, I know he does. I haven't listened to much either, actually. Hold on. We're gonna stalk him a little bit.
Oh, maybe, right, yeah. So guys, here's a preview to the Unknown Artist, which he should be hard to find because how unknown he is. But unfortunately, we're in
That's
the
what I'm
Electric
saying.
Sunshine cult with him, and so he's with a lot of producers, and he does have taste in music. I've heard him talk on it quite a bit, so I'm like, okay, cool. I know, he knows what he's talking about. I think he said he produced some shows himself. So
Man, I don't know. He was on he was on Judge Judy. Did you know that?
I did not know that. I don't know very much about him at all. Who was he, the
Yeah,
plaintiff or was he the defendant?
he was on. He played it for all of us.
Yeah, right on.
Corey Set. What's his name? Setri.
Are you doxing him on the episode right now?
No,
I
I'm
guess.
not doxing him.
I mean, he's a public
I know he's
figure.
on here.
Right.
Like he was on TV. Like
Yeah,
you don't
he
get more doxed than that.
yeah he is a public figure, so calling out
And he was
his
proud. Yeah,
gotcha.
he was
Yeah.
proud of it. So yeah.
Again, was he being sued or was he suing?
I don't remember. I think
Ah.
he was suing maybe, and I think he won.
Oh, okay.
It was like 6 months ago that he showed us this, but
Oh, gotcha.
I guess
Uh,
I can't. I might have spelled his name wrong or something. It doesn't matter. It's just a fun little detail I learned about him.
That is pretty cool. I did not know that about him.
You
Yeah.
see this? I'm orbiting outside of the thing here.
What ship are you on?
That's the hippo. I still can't figure that out. But sometimes you end up on a duck that's out here on the spaceship. And look at that
That's
giant hippo.
that's wild. Yeah.
That they're all in. That's a
That-
great finale for the episode.
I'm
I'll tell
actually
you
kind
that.
of uncomfortable with the fact that we're so far outside of what we know is the world for these ducks.
Right.
Wow, yeah,
It's
quite
gotta
the
be
finale. Yeah,
Life
we're
changing for them.
kind of in the last
We
5
found the
minutes.
hippo.
Damn, we've been on the hippo the whole time. Always have been.
Yeah,
Yeah.
always have been.
So,
Yep. Exactly.
uh, that's pretty cool. Do you have any wrap up thoughts for this sesh for this evening? Like maybe the what you think where they discover along the road this pearl?
Yeah, yeah. I think we made a great progress, especially with the pearl idea.
Um,
Because
we actually
yeah, it makes sense. Like and then we just got to figure out how to incorporate the duck into it.
Yeah, and we're actually there, right? Like, so they're driving a truck down the road, so they could meet a duck anywhere at this point. Um, do you have any ideas currently of like where they might run into, like where he might see like sailor duck? Like, I think this might be one of those random moments, like he's on like a road sign or he's like on the side of the road. And that's really hard to see, but like he like screeches to a halt and like steps out of his truck to be like to like pick up sailor duck. like dumbfounded that he's come across like his old buddy.
That could be interesting, or maybe he like finds his old duck at a pawn shop at the same shop that he's selling the pearl at, and that's what gives him the idea of what to do with the money.
Okay,
something
so
like that.
well, what I'm asking is where does this discovery happen? We're trying to get to either one discovery or the other. You said you wanted it to happen for a duck, or through the duck, or well, we wanted to discover a pearl. So he's driving along the road. How does he discover a pearl?
Well, I figured that would just be like in the oysters. They would get a clam that had a pearl in it.
So we have to get them to the place where they're shucking them. So they arrive.
Or they just because the clams are different than oysters, right?
They are, yeah. I think that you are correct. So they
So
would
maybe he finds a clam and like it's like a scratch off, you know. It's like the oysterman's version of a scratch off. You take it home and like hope that you win and get a pearl.
Gotcha, yeah, for sure. It's okay, cool. We got the oyster idea. I think that's a good. We just have to get them from the truck to the oyster in the next few moments. The next moment, at the end of this moment. But we will tackle that on the next episode. So cliffhanger, we did see the hippo in space. You guys are here on the Sesh program with Chandler Fleming, Flamingo Music, and myself, Skip Marazzi. This is behind the scenes podcast for Cox in Space, and where we get to hang out on the Sesh program, talk about ducks using a sword calculator. If you want to find out more about story calculators, you can go to wigwags.us and find Making the Moment, which is a book that you can purchase. You can also get time to structure your stories this way. If you want to check out what is in that book, you can also go to Reddit /r story calculators, where the process is broken down and you can talk directly to me and other people who have used it, see samples of stories that are being made, like this one. Check out our previous episode, they just went up there. You can find Chandler's music at Flamingo Music on SoundCloud. And he is working on that EP. We got to hear the second two, at least some roughs of the second two songs that are going in that EP. So, what the heck?
Cyborg duck.
When you go to his point of view, that's go crazy. Anyway,
scanning all of them.
Yeah. We will see you guys all on the next Sesh program, and it will be with the
Good night,
great
everybody.
Gordon Robinson. Good night. I'm so freaked out.